Hey everybody, October is Down Syndrome Awareness Month. So I have been asked to do a video for parents who have newly received the diagnosis that their child has Down syndrome, or they're pregnant and they are going to have a baby who potentially will be born with Down syndrome. So this video is to all the mamas and daddies out there who are in a very different, possibly scary, emotional time in their life, and I wish that I would have stumbled upon this very video once I received the diagnosis about my little Abel. So I hope that this video finds you well. Every single person who watches it, I hope it blesses you. If you're not a parent with a child with Down syndrome, if you've not been told that your child's going to be born with Down syndrome, you've stumbled upon this video for whatever reason, you're a faithful subscriber and you watch all of our videos through to the end because you are amazing and you are a godsend, I would ask that you would keep this video back in the back of your mind, and anytime you come across someone who's dealing with this situation, I would ask that you would share this video with them, not because I'm great or I'm special, but because God has given me the opportunity to share. And that is what I think is so important, because we go through the things we do to be able to help others. And that is my goal, that this video would encourage and help someone. So let's talk about Down syndrome. So Abel was born in March of 2015. I did not know while I was pregnant that he was going to be born with Down syndrome. I assumed that I had the testing done, and you know what they say about assumption. I guess I just figured, since I had my last child in 2007, that in this more modern world that we live in, that all of the testing was done in the very beginning of pregnancy. And if there was a concern, I would have already known about it. So I'm not sure where you are in your pregnancy. I'm not sure if you've already delivered your child at the time that you're watching this video, but this is what I want to say. First of all, God knows what we need, even more than we know what we need. So I had two, what they call in the Down syndrome world, typical children. So they didn't have Down syndrome. Prior to having Abel, two typical pregnancies, deliveries, birth stories, what have you. Everything was just the average situation that you can imagine. Had to have a C-section with one of them. So the most scary thing that I was going to encounter with this pregnancy was having to undergo another C-section. So when I had Abel, he didn't cry right away like you would expect. So instantly I thought maybe something was going on. My husband was out of town at the time, so I had the C-section and it was just me in the room. And I tell you all this stuff to let you know that it was already a scary experience. It ended up being an emergency C-section instead of a planned one. So my nerves were already kind of on edge and I was already emotional. And so I've undergone an emergency C-section. My baby's not making noise like he's supposed to. Long story short, they hand me my son and I look down at him and I say, "Who are you?" I really genuinely just instantly thought to myself, something is different about my baby. I don't know what I expected him to look like, and it's not like he looked, so strange, but a mom knows. And I did, if I'm being honest, I did instantly think Down syndrome. Not because I knew anyone really with Down syndrome, not because I knew what they call soft features, not because I knew what that stuff was, but I instantly did. But as soon as I did, I thought to myself, no. And I pushed that thought out of my head as fast as it entered my mind to begin with. So as the story unfolds, the pediatrician came in and shared with us that Abel had multiple soft features, and I'll share with you what that means. That would be indicative of a child who had Down syndrome. He didn't act like Down syndrome was really that big of a deal. He said at some point to go down and have blood work drawn to check to see if he did in fact have Down syndrome. And so what he didn't know is he just shattered my entire world with just a couple of words. And in my mind, I hear, and it just resonates in my memory bank so loud, soft features, soft features. That's all I heard in my head over and over again. Now, I consider myself and my son extremely blessed, and I am so very, very thankful to God that he did have Down syndrome, but there are a lot of other medical diagnoses that go hand in hand with a child when they have Down syndrome. They can have heart complications, which require open heart surgery either at birth or after. They can have bowel complications that could require surgery as well. Down syndrome makes them more prominent for other types of disease processes, which I'll leave that up to you to Google and find out what those are, because I don't want to bombard anyone. But just hearing that your child does or could have Down syndrome, to me, was emotional enough. I didn't know anyone with Down syndrome. I didn't even know what it really even meant to have Down syndrome. So it was scary. And guys, we're afraid of the unknown. If you don't know, you tend to be fearful at times of the unknown. So what I want to say to moms specifically today, coming from one mom to another, don't let fear of the unknown overtake you. Do not allow the enemy of your soul to plant so many thoughts and so many seeds of doubt into your mind and just wreak havoc in your mind about all the what ifs. And I don't know how to raise a child with Down syndrome. And my whole perfect little family has just been shattered. And, I could seriously just go on and on with all the thoughts that entered my mind on the day when I found out that my son might have Down syndrome. And see, in my gut, I already knew, but I doubted it, and I prayed stronger prayers than I feel like I've ever prayed in my life, nor will I ever pray again. And I pleaded with God that it would not be right, that it would be a lie, that it would be wrong, it would be an error. I even prayed that God would deliver him of Down syndrome at one point, which seems like such a foolish prayer now. But a mom's heart wants absolutely nothing more for her child than to be normal. What in the world is normal anyway? What is life without challenges? See, here's the deal. We can either embrace the difference. We can either embrace our child just as they have been born, whether it's cerebral palsy, whether it's Down syndrome, whether it's cancer, whether it's diabetes, whatever the difference is. Whatever the not normal situation is that anyone that's watching this video may be encountering today in their life with their child, with a friend's child, with a family member. You can choose to embrace it, or you can choose to push it away and be in denial and be angry and mad and hurt. And the only persons that are going to suffer because of that are yourself and the child. So this is what I want you guys to know. I want you to know that Down syndrome is not a terminal diagnosis. Down syndrome, really in all actuality, should be called up syndrome. No, Abel's not happy every single second of the day. He's 2.5. He throws 2-year-old temper tantrums like every other baby does. He is absolutely amazing. God used him to change and impact my world in a way that I could never have even known that I wanted. See, he used Abel to bring out love in me that I didn't know I had. He uses Abel every single day. Every place we go, Abel is able to engage someone in a crowd. Wherever we are, he makes a friend. Wherever we go, he puts a smile on someone's face. He's not just that little kid that has Down syndrome. He is able. And because he is able, he has taught me that I am able. I am able to love deeper than I ever knew was possible. I am able to fight for him in a way that I never even imagined that I could. I'm able to make this video to put on YouTube that will inevitably fall into the hands of a mama who is going through the same exact situation that I went through 2.5 years ago today, and she is going to be empowered, and she is going to embrace her baby just the way that God made her child. The Bible says that our children are fearfully and wonderfully made, that God knit them together in our wombs. Whatever your situation is today, there is support out there. There are support groups, wonderful, wonderful support groups on Facebook. I remember I was up one night in the just first couple of weeks of being home after having Abel. There wasn't too much different to taking care of him than there was one of my typically developing children as a newborn. They cry, they need fed, they have wet diapers. You burp them. Come on, moms. Not saying you won't have any other challenges, but I am telling you today that raising my son with Down syndrome has not really been, other than some extra doctor's appointments, much different than parenting a child who doesn't have Down syndrome. So I remember a couple of weeks being at home after I had Abel, and I remember I was so crushed emotionally. I wasn't grasping the concept. I was angry. I was bitter. Why did God do this to me, as if this was some negative, terrible thing to have to deal with in life? And I reached out to one of the moms on the support group. I private messaged her and I said, she asked me, what is one of the things that I'm most upset about having a child with Down syndrome? And I said to her, will anyone ever love my son? Will he ever get married? Will he ever be able to have a normal life? Will Down syndrome prevent him from being able to do all of these kinds of things that you eventually think most people will probably do? And what she said to me was hilarious. Your son is just a couple of weeks old. Why are you trying to marry him off already? And at the time I was so emotional. I didn't understand why she handled it that way, because I'm thinking like I would have been walking on eggshells trying to talk to somebody, who was pouring out their heart and soul. But let's just be honest. Take it one day at a time, girlfriend. You don't have to worry about what your child's tomorrow is going to hold, because you need to be dealing with your child's today. Don't put them in a bubble. Don't think that they're so precious that they have to be treated a different way because they have Down syndrome. Treat them the same way you treat your other children. If you don't have other children, treat them the same way you would have treated your other children. They're special, but so are all children. I personally don't like the term special, because to me, we're all special. We're all a gift from God. We all can be gifts to others from God. So what I hope that you take away from this video is this. This is not the worst thing that you're ever going to deal with in your life. And it feels terrible when it happens. But embrace the change. Embrace the difference. Abortion was never an option for me. If I would have found out that he had Down syndrome, it would have never been an option for me. For me, that would have never been an option. Please don't let it be an option for you. Please don't take the life of your child who is growing inside of your belly right now, begging for mama just to give him a chance, because you are going to be the absolute world's best mother to the child that God gave you. Don't let abortion be an option, guys. Embrace the change, embrace the difference, because it's going to bring something out of you that A, you didn't know you even had in you, and B, you're going to walk down a path and a journey that's going to show you exactly who you are and what you're capable of, and you are going to have the best tour guide possible on this different road of life that you will embark. And let me tell you, it is an amazing journey, an amazing ride. And I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I'm just saying, I have the best tour guide walking down the life as a Down syndrome parent. I hope this video truly, truly encourages you. I hope that you understand that Down syndrome is not a terminal diagnosis. Down syndrome is truly, truly not something to let destroy you. Don't harbor angerness or bitterness or sadness for too long. There is a poem that's called Welcome to Holland, and I made another video about Down syndrome and our story. And I truly hope that if you're in this journey, from our perspective of the journey, I would strongly suggest you read Welcome to Holland. It's an emotional poem. It talks about going on a vacation, and when you get there, you showed up at the wrong destination. The poem is amazing because it truly explains how you feel. You head the same way everyone else is heading. You know, you're in a plane, you're in a bus, whatever. The journey to get to the destination is the same, just like everyone else's was. Our pregnancies, our delivery stories, those kinds of things most generally are the same. But once you get there, it's different. It doesn't mean it's bad if you embrace it. If you embrace it and don't go into it kicking and screaming, but go into it thinking, okay, I really wasn't trying to go to Florida. I was really trying to go to Germany. But while I'm here, while I'm in Florida, I'm just going to lather up in soap. Really? I'm just going to lather up in sunscreen. I'm going to pop on my shades, take out my beach towel, and I'm going to the beach because you know what? That's going to be something fun. And I might as well enjoy it while I'm here, right? Love your kiddos. Hug your kids. Tell them you love them. Embrace the difference. Make your therapy sessions fun. Whatever it is you have to do because your child has Down syndrome. Make it fun. Enjoy it. Be you and let them be them. Don't put any predetermined thought behind what it might end up being. Take it one day at a time. Love them. And just be you, Mom. That's all you can be. Don't let Down syndrome be the end-all, be-all. Don't let that diagnosis, that name, that term define your situation. If you guys have any questions about Down syndrome, I guess I probably should have told you about soft features. So soft features for Down syndrome are things like almond-shaped eyes, low-set ears. There's something called a simian crease, which if you look at your palm, you probably have multiple creases in your palms. So Abel has one palm like this, and one of his palms has one single crease that goes across the palm. That's something called a soft feature. His toes in between his great toe or his big toe and the second one, there's just a little tiny bit more of a space in between those two toes than a typically developing child would have. Those are the big ones. They have, their tongue is a little bit more wider than a child without Down syndrome. So those are some of the soft features that they talked to me about when Abel was born. So those are the ones that I'll share with you. I think there are some more, but those are the main ones that come to mind. So like I said, you can Google everything upside down, one upside down, the other, whatever. You know, you can find all kinds of information on the internet about Down syndrome. Everyone has a story and everyone's telling it, girls. So let me just say this to you. Take everyone's opinion, advice, and tips with a grain of salt. Some of it you're going to take in, you're going to digest it, you're going to let it come in, and it's going to help you, and it's going to be beneficial, and it's going to encourage you, and you're going to grow from it. Other stories and tips and advice and information you're going to take in, you're going to chew it up, and you're going to decide this is gross, this is not for me, this is not helping me. As a matter of fact, this is making me more sad. As a matter of fact, this is making me more angry about my situation. As a matter of fact, I do not really even like their advice at all, and you're just going to spit it out. You're just going to get rid of it. Don't embrace it. Don't own it. It's not yours. Everyone has an opinion about everything. So I would just say, pray about your situation. Embrace the change. Love your child. It's just a diagnosis. It's not the end of the world. So what I started to say was, if you have any questions about Down syndrome, if you have any questions, if you want to share your story with me, if you need any help finding support groups in your area, online support groups, if you want contact information for people who might be able to help you even more than my video has, stories from parents who have older children and their journeys and their struggles and how they made it thus far. Anything at all that Staying Kingdom Minded can do for you. Anything at all that we can do from one family to another to encourage you, to help you in your journey, as others many, many times have helped us along our journey in the last 2.5 years. We want to be there for you. We want to help you through this emotional roller coaster ride and this huge change in your life. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We have a Gmail account set up you can send emails to. It's simply stayingkingdomminded@gmail.com. It's just our channel name at gmail.com. We also have a Facebook page, Staying Kingdom Minded. So there are multiple ways to contact us. You can comment in the comment section below, however you want to do it, but we're here for you. We want to pray for you. We want to support you on your journey, just as so many people did for us. So we thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a like. October is Down Syndrome Awareness Month. We want to spread awareness and help people embrace change, embrace differences. We want them to be able, just like our Abel is able. I used to sing him this little song. He is A-B-E-L-A-B-L-E, able. He is A-B-E-L-A-B-L-E, able. He is A-B-E-L-A-B-L-E, able to do anything, 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 anything he wants to do. So remember that. Your little one may not be called Abel, but he or she is able. And if you let them, they will show you. So happy Down Syndrome Awareness Month. We thank you so much for watching our video. We pray this video finds you blessed, and we look forward to making a new video for you in the future. See you guys later.